Well, there are two ways in which we detect odors. The very first one is from the front of our nose, known as the ortho-nasal olfaction. The second one is through the back of our nose, located in our mouth, or the oral cavity, known as the retronasal olfaction. So, for example, do you guys know how you guys love the smell of cake or ice cream, and you guys can even like feel it inside? And sometimes when we eat food, we have to cover our nose just to pass it, especially for pills when we were younger and cough syrup. That's because of the retronasal olfaction back here, just in order to pass it. And also, with this has smell disorders because of that retronasal olfaction.
So where is smell?
Yeah, where is smell?
It's in the olfactory system.
The what?
The olfactory system.
Oh, the olfactory system. Okay, so these are taste receptor cells, and these are basically, these bind to molecules and saliva, which then transmit signals to the taste receptor cells, which then go to the taste sensory cortex. Then we have the olfactory bulb, which I like to think of it as like the service center, where everything goes up to it, which then can go to the sensory cortex. Then we have the olfactory tract right here, which is a bundle of axons, which is located in the forebrain, which then sends signals all the way to the amygdala, the brain, and the epithelial cortex.
Our question is, are we able to distinguish the differences between masculine and feminine fragrances?
So before we go into this, we need to know a little bit of background. What is feminine fragrances or scents, and what is masculine? And this is very hard, especially with the diverse society that we have now. For example, this is very subjective because what is masculine to me may be feminine to her, and vice versa. So when we go back to masculine, we usually think musky or stronger scents. And when we go to feminine, we usually have floral notes, which is derived from flowers or plants, which smell fruity and just lighter color. And then we have a problem. Over the past decade, there have been problems with distinguishing between masculine and feminine because there have been over several thousands of fragrances that are now brand unisex. So this blurs the line between what is feminine and what is masculine.
And to give you a little definition of what perfume and cologne is, perfume is a fragrant liquid typically made for essential oils extract from flowers and spices. As to cologne is a perfume liquid made essential oils and alcohol.
So for our hypothesis is that if we test female and male participants and give them samples of advertised feminine and masculine fragrances, and then we have them blindly smell these fragrances, they will not be able to classify the fragrances as either masculine or feminine the way that market has.
So our variables in this experiment, the independent variable is the participants, dependent variables is the results taken from the participants, which is like the answers and labels. Control variables are how much volume for each vial, the participants and what type of fragrance, if it's perfume or if it's cologne. And the materials that we use in this experiment is 20 vials, 1 pipette, 1 small bag of coffee grinds, surveys, colognes and perfumes, which were submitted by the students. Participants, 15 male and 15 female.
So this is our consent form that we gave all of our participants, and it explains the purpose of our experiment, the participant selection, and explains the procedure of how we do our experiment, and then it says the risks and the benefits of our experiment. It also gives us confidentiality with the participants.
So now we have our procedures. So at the very beginning of it, we had to then again get consent from the participants because we are testing on actual living creatures. So there then goes that ethical process that we have to remain and give the consent. Then we then gave them a survey, and we had to gather the 5 advertised feminine fragrances and the 5 advertised masculine fragrances, which were again from our students. Then we labeled the vials in the form of RNA coding. For example, in mRNA in biology, we know that U goes with A, and we know that C goes with G. Is everyone getting what I'm saying? No? Yes? Okay.
Okay,
And
so
what's up?
and so for the olfactory test, we first
And then in the right we have the buffer, which is the coffee grains right there. And the tape with the coating there. In the next slide, Eddie will explain how and why we coated it that way.
So remember all these different, remember it for the next slide. Okay, so here we have a key. This is the key we use to analyze and see which perfumes and colognes that we use with the test tubes. So right here we have our feminine, these are all feminine, and these are all masculine. So for 1 and 2 were feminine, and also we have like 1A, 2U with Japanese cherry blossom. And the masculine example is 3A and 4U is very sexy for him.
The proposed gender identity fragrance by males.
So here are our graphs for trial 1 and trial 2 for the males. As you can see in the first trial, we have the first 2 are female fragrances, and the males were consistent in saying that it was a feminine fragrance. But if you look from trial 1 to trial 2, you see that the males are inconsistent choosing if a fragrance was masculine or feminine. They would change what they would call it going from trial 1 to trial 2. And remember that there's a 10-minute break in between both trials.
And then
The proposed identity fragrance by females.
for females, the same thing, except we got very different results. For trial 1, these 2 women or females were consistent upon deciding whether or not they thought it was masculine or feminine. And we see these 2 trends in both trial 1 and trial 2.
So in comparison of the incorrect and of their success rate, you can see that females have a 6% success rate, or females were more precise. 32% of the males answers were incorrect, and 67% were correct, while in the females 26% were incorrect and 74% were correct.
So to analyze all the data that we just showed you, females were more consistent in choosing if fragrance was feminine or masculine, and then females were also more precise in choosing if it was, or more precise for choosing it the way the market had selected them.
So now let's take a closer look. And by this, what I'm about to show you is we went in and picked out some consistencies between the 2. So in this one, we have, this is Curves, and Curves is a masculine scent. And then for trial 1, we had approximately 11 males that said it was feminine, and as opposed to the other 4 that said it was masculine. Yeah, wait. Yeah, that's right. Okay, and then the 3 right here said it was masculine compared to the other 12 that said it was feminine. So we see here that there's, and between the 10 minutes, because there's a 10-minute time span between the trials, we see that the answers are like flipped. So, and then for Pink Eyes, this is a feminine fragrance, or marketed for females. We see that in both trials, females picked this about the same. This was about 14 women, 14 females said that it was a feminine scent, and then in trial 2, approximately 13 said it was feminine. So, and the difference here is males, they changed their answers through time, and women, they were more precise or consistent upon the answers that they gave us.
So our data supports our hypothesis in saying that when we test males and females and ask them to blindly smell fragrances and decide if it's feminine or masculine, that they will not be able to correctly categorize it the way that the market has. Also, we noticed that females have a more precise sense with 6% higher success rate than the men's.
And these are some of the references we used, and there is a previous study that we sort of went off to give us like a boost onto how we're going to start this.